How's it going, everyone? So, The Pretty One, directed by Janae Lamarck, and stars Zoe Kazan, who you might know from Ruby Sparks, but a lot of people didn't really see that movie, and Jake Johnson, which is from New Girl and Drinking Buddies, is a little quirky little independent film about a twin sister who's kind of sheltered and lived at home her entire life, kind of taking care of their father. When her twin sister comes to town, tragedy strikes and she mistakenly gets identified as that twin sister. And because of that, she ends up taking her role and kind of gaining a new perspective on life and experiencing things for the first time because of this mistake, and she ends up taking advantage of it after she learns a little bit about what they thought of her, because they all think her actual character, Laurel, died. And so she learns a little bit about what people actually thought of her, and it upsets her. So she ends up taking the identity of her sister and moving away from home and back to LA, where her sister currently resides, and kind of taking control of her life. And the plot kind of sounds cliche and a little contrived, but it's done very well. And it doesn't actually make you kind of like roll your eyes. Obviously, a situation like this is very delicate and very tricky one to pull off, but I feel like they did a pretty good job there. And when she gets to LA, though, she ends up experiencing love and relationships and friendship and professionalism all in a quick little 1 week stretch where she's trying to become her sister. And it's very well done. It never rushes through anything, and I really like the portrayal of the relationship she forms with her neighbor, Jake Johnson, whose name is Basil. A lot of films kind of have a lot of take your breath away moments, ones where it's all-time highs and peaks in the relationship, and this film just kind of casually strolls it along and throws it in your face by just having them hang out and learning things about them and seeing just why they end up falling for each other, because the way they interact, it's just they can be themselves around each other. And that's a big key for the character of Laurel, because her sister, before she died, told her that she wants her to open up and actually be herself and stop trying to act like like Audrey. And that's a key moment in this film, is this character Basil, her neighbor, actually makes her feel comfortable enough to be herself, and he likes what he sees with her, and so she feels confident for the first time in her life, and she gets that upper hand on life, and she feels like she could actually go places. And she's afraid that if she tells the truth, things might fall apart, and that's where this film kind of takes a nice, interesting, surprising turn, because the beginning of the film has this quirky little indie comedy feel to it, and it actually is pretty funny, but then it slowly stops being that and eventually evolves and transitions very smoothly into a kind of drama of sorts, and it's handled very well. It's not very distasteful at all, and it's not as far-fetched as the plot could have made it, and I really enjoyed that out of it. Zoe Kazan, I think that was her name, is very good, playing 3 different characters in this. She's playing Laurel, she's playing her twin sister Audrey, but she's also playing Laurel, who's trying to pretend to be her sister. So it's a very difficult and tough challenge, but she ends up making it work. And I don't know if the film purposely did this, but throughout the film you actually see her as Audrey at the beginning of or once she moves to LA, but slowly she ends up turning into the Laurel, the character you met at the beginning of the film. And I really liked the way they presented and made her look that way. And then Jake Johnson as the neighbor is just pure gold. The guy just is perfection at playing just this laid-back, chilled character, and he might get kind of typecasted as this character, but he is perfect at it, and he's great in these type of movies, and I hope to see a lot more of him in these type of roles. Last year he had Drinking Buddies, and he was great in that, and he's great in this, and he brings a lot to the table other than weird jokes and some of the antics they have him do on New Girl. But it's a very well made film. It caught me a bit by surprise. I don't exactly know when it hits theaters a local theater kind of did like a sponsored screening of it that I got to catch, and I really enjoyed it. It was the very first film of this year that I can truly say that I enjoyed and will enjoy by year's end. So if you get a chance, I highly recommend The Pretty One. It's a nice change of pace to some of the films 2014 has presented us, and I'm going to give The Pretty Ones a B. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.